Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Nathan Whitten with American Stonecast, here to talk to you today about, well, you guessed it, sinks. Boom. In our last video, we took a little road trip to our press facility where we caught a behind-the-scenes glimpse into the process we use to manufacture our sinks called compression molding. Now, you may not realize this, but compression molding, that process is actually used in lots of different components on the market today. One of our favorite uses of compression molding is in the manufacturing of the Corvette. That's right. The Corvette, America's favorite sports car, is made using, well, components of it are made using compression molding. I don't want to overstate it, but I feel like science has spoken, and our sinks are essentially the Corvette of RV sinks. I mean, I'm just saying. So today, we're going to take an in-depth look at our sinks and what makes our sinks, we believe, to be the best in the business. We're going to look at 7 benefits that our sinks have over our competitors' sinks. We're going to look at some of the convenient installation features that our sinks have to make your life easier. And we're going to look at some of the customization options that we have for our sinks. So if you're ready, let's dive in to the benefits of our sinks with benefit number 1. Full disclosure, benefit number 1 could be described more as a characteristic of our sinks rather than a benefit, but I just think it's worth noting. Okay, the compression molding process, the heated pressure that comes down on the compound and creates our incredibly durable sinks, creates what's called a resin-rich layer on the surface of the sink, all surfaces of the sink. And what that does is it gives it many of the qualities that we're going to talk about today. But the very first thing you'll notice when you pick up one of our sinks is how great it feels. It's smooth to the touch, and it just feels like you're holding something that is quality. All right, benefit number 1. You ready? Benefit number 2. That's right, our sinks are lightweight. Now, again, full disclosure, I guess I'm full of full disclosures. Our sinks are not the lightest weight sink you'll find. However, the sinks that are lighter weight than our sinks are made out of cheap, thin plastic. Of course it doesn't weigh anything because it's cheap, thin plastic. Our sinks, when compared to a not cheap, thin plastic sink, weigh substantially less. And you know, if you're an RV owner, that weight matters. So let's take a look, because let's just, come here. We're gonna walk over to our scale and we're gonna check it out, because you don't have to take my word for it. You can look right here, all right? So we're gonna come over here, we got the scale set up. Oh, we got some sinks and everything. We're ready to go. Hold on, let me see if I can get this. So we got these sinks set up. Now this is a sink made by our competitor right here, and this is our sink. Now as you can see, our sink is actually bigger than our competitor's sink. But what we're gonna see is that, well, let's just check it out. We're gonna put this sink on the scale first and see what happens. Here we go. Oh, I gotta turn it on. It turned off on me. Got it. Okay, it's gotta level out. There we go. And this sink weighs in at 7 pounds, 5.4 ounces. That's what this sink weighs in at, all right? I feel like we're like at a boxing weigh-in, you know? And now, the competitor who's boxing also, the other sink. And so this goes on, let's see. Ooh, doggy. 3 pounds, 3.8 ounces. That's right, it's 4 pounds lighter than our competitor's sink. That makes a difference. That's gas mileage right there. So let's move on. Number 3. Let's talk about durability. Our sinks are durable, okay? They're made with a super strong polymer like we talked about our compound. Okay, this is one of our black granite sinks. This is our bar sink right here, we call it. And it's tough. A stainless steel sink will dent if I did this to it, right? I mean, we all know that. I don't have to prove it. Stainless steel dents when you hit it with a hammer. Not that you hit your sink with a hammer a lot, but you get it. Is that loud? Probably loud. So our sinks won't dent. Also, they're incredibly strong. All right, I want to show you something. This is our bar sink, like I told you. Okay, it's a great sink. I am not a little man. We won't discuss numbers, okay? But just suffice it to say that I'm not a little dude. So watch this. All right, here we go. Bar sink on the ground. I'm gonna go for it. Like I said, I'm not a little dude, but here we go. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. All right, so I am fully on this sink, completely on it, standing on it. Check it out. No trick photography or anything there. Just me standing on a sink. Just a dude standing on a sink. Nothing. Jumping up. These sinks are tough. Moving on. All right, benefit number 4. Our sinks won't rust. Ever. Number 5. Benefit number 5 that I think is a really important feature or benefit of our sinks is that our sinks are heat resistant up to 500 degrees, okay? Now, many of our competitors' sinks actually have warning labels on them telling you not to pour hot liquid in the sinks. It's a sink! So we think it's important that you're able to pour hot stuff into your sink. So our sinks are heat resistant up to 500 degrees. So benefit number 6 is that our sinks are stain resistant. If you've ever left spaghetti in the fridge with the sauce for too long, you know that plastic is not very stain resistant. That Tupperware gets all red and never comes out, right? Well, our sinks are not made out of plastic. They're made out of that compound, and they are stain resistant. Now, this one's pretty technical, because when I say that they're stain resistant, what I mean is that our sinks resist stains. So many of our sinks are undermounted, like this sink here. And what that means is that it is mounted to the bottom side of the countertop to give the top side a beautiful one-piece finish. It looks like it's one piece, countertop and sink, even though it's technically 2 pieces. This is really great until you come to the point where something happens to your sink. As we've gone over, the sinks are tough, but every now and then something crazy happens and some sort of damage will happen to the sink. Normally, it's very easy to pop a sink out, replace it, put a new one in when you have an overmount system. With the undermount system, it's difficult to replace the sink. It's possible, but it's a little more technical. However, our sinks are actually repairable. Should you ever get a minor scratch or a little gouge in the sink, just give the shop a call here at American Stonecast, and we'll ship to you our super top secret compound that repairs the sink, and we'll actually walk you through the process on how to do that. So, repairable sink, it's a big benefit, especially when it's undermounted, all right? Let's recap the 7 benefits that we've talked about so far. The first is the resin-rich top layer that gives it its super smooth finish and lots of the other superpowers that our sinks have. The second is that it's lightweight. The third is that it's durable and won't dent. The The fourth is that it won't rust, ever. The fifth is that it is heat resistant. Number 6 is its stain resistance. And number 7 is its repairability. So there you are, 7 benefits that we feel give our sinks an edge in the RV sink game. But now let's talk about some of the features that we've built into our sinks that make them convenient and easy to install. All right, so as I mentioned before, many of our sinks are undermounted and are a little more technical to install yourself. It's possible, and many of you can probably do it without a problem. However, there are many of our sinks that are top mounted, and they're a little easier to install on your own. To make it even easier, we've designed into our sinks a couple of features. The first one I want to point out is what's called mounting bosses. That's this right here, and that's essentially just a placement guide for your installation clip. So you use a screw and a clip, and that holds it in place. So the first installation feature, mounting boss. There it is, right there. The second installation feature that I want to draw your attention to is what's called the self-rimming feature, found in many of our top mounted sinks. And it's this little groove right here along the top all the way around, and all that groove is for is to make it easier for you to put caulk on the sink, to give you a nice guide for a real tight bead of caulk, to put it in the exact right spot and to help that sink stay sealed and make sure no water creeps back under the sink. So the self-rimming feature number 2, all right? So the next thing we want to talk about are the customization options that we have for our sinks. Now, our compound is available in 4 colors: white, cream, bone, and black granite. Beyond that, we have the capability of coating our sinks with different colors and sheens and all kinds of different qualities in the coating process. So you can see this is kind of a chrome sink. I have over here a black. Ooh, look at that one. That's nice right there. Ooh, you can see a reflection in that. And so there's lots of different options, even non-shiny options. You can make a sink look like this. See that there? It's kind of got more of a metal. It looks like a metal sink. So you can do options like that. So there's all kinds of options. The possibilities are pretty much endless when it comes to our coating options. Now, we don't keep those on hand, but if you're an OEM and you're looking to get some sort of special fancy sink in one of your models, give us a call, because chances are we can make it happen. All right, the other options that we have, the customization options that we have available, especially on the consumer side, are these little things right here. We have tons and tons of cutting boards, drains, like strainers, that can go into the built-in ridges and cap off our sinks. So you take these into one of our bar sinks like this. It's got a little ridge around the edge to keep this in place. And then from there, there's also a lid like that, cover. You can completely cover it. Now this is just our bar sink. We have the same options on many of our larger sinks as well. So there's all kinds of customization options that you can avail yourself to make your sink your own. All right, that's it, the whole thing. Thanks for joining us today and watching through as we discussed all the different benefits and features of our sinks. If you are ready to purchase a sink, or if you're an OEM ready to put our sinks in your units, you can reach out to us on the web at rv-sinks.com. You can give us a phone call as well. But thanks so much for checking us out today, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.